Hello. In this chapter, we are going to discuss about the first law of thermodynamics. And whatever come across in this, I have taken the basic formula whichever is needed for your gate, and more in detail that whatever the content is like basic theoretical knowledge that I'll give whatever I have known that I will share with this coming formulas. But it is very much relevant to the gate, and it is this chapter is also very important for the gate because a single question, the one question definitely will ask on this first law of thermodynamics. Uh, and the first law of thermodynamics, as per we have said in the previous session, that if one form of energy you have can be converted into another form of energy, it cannot be create or cannot be destroyed, just only convert one form to another form. But and also the total energy remains constant. And from this chapter we have get to know how how this formula is relevant to this first law, and how that equation can be, how we can represent that law in a mathematical form. So whatever that written in the top of the PDF, it is just a concept, a basic concept, which is very helpful for you to solve the numerical, which shows that volume. What is volume? Volume is area into length, and from that, if you want to change that area, what is change of volume? So what you do, v2 minus v1, whatever the area change first, and after that whatever after next stage, that the volume is v1. So what you do, you will change that v2. If you want to find out the difference between two volume, then you will what you will do, you will minus this to volume 2 at from the volume 1, and whatever the changes is there, it is also the third volume, which was the difference between that two volume, and it can be written as area into that distance, whatever the distance changes between that two volumes. That, so it is very helpful for you to find out the distance. If you have a gas in the cylinder, that the gas should has initial volume V1. But after, if you apply heat to that system, it will get expand, and after expanding that volume, your volume reach at volume number 2, and the distance which were traveled by your pistons, it's x. And with respect to that, you can find out the volume of that change volume of that gas expansion. And second right side formula shows that when if you combine two substance at different temperature, then they become equilibrium at certain time, or whatever. If it is at the different temperature, if you take the two sample of water, one at 100 degrees Celsius and another at 0 degrees Celsius. It's like one is boiling water and second is ice. If you combine together at certain period, that these two different water form will combine in the single liquid form, and it the temperature of that two substance remain the same, like equilibrium to each other. And in this kind of formula, it's very simple, they used to calculate. If you have like a mass of that water boiling into that specific heat of that, and specific heat of ice plus as well as your water is remain same. But if you take a different example, like water plus iron, heated iron cube, so some kind of that your cv value will change and mass is also change. And the temperature, if you have a temperature, that boiling water temperature is quite high, then you just multiply the t1 minus t1 and T1 minus a final temperature. And if you have that ice, that ice temperature will rise, and you can write as the minus, because it's become minus. So you can directly simply put at the this formula as a final temperature minus initial temperature. and both are like the total energy which were like whatever energy in this first law is relevant to this, because whatever energy we are that the boiling water has, it is not dissipating in this universe. It's not possible that whole energy of that boiling water only transferred to the ice. It transferred to the in the form of radiation, in the form of convection, in the form of other and in this way it is also based in creating internal energy, and it also uh, reduce its internal energy in the form of to change its form. So it's like in this first law of thermodynamics, we are not taking care of the whatever is the whatever the portion is emitting or something. We are just saying that whatever energy contained by boiling water is simply transferred to the ice. So the whatever temperature come together, it is at the equilibrium temperature. So this is first law which we are applicable to this example, and you know that it's equal to, it's minus sign, but in this way you can write in the directly form that heat transfer by the A substance equal to heat transfer by the B substance. In this way you can use this formula for the different numericals, and here we can start with the first law of a cycle. Cycle is nothing but the initial stage of that process, and the last stage of that process remains same. And from that stage, and that whatever the cycle is once say that cycle is completed, it should not produce any strain to the universe, and not inside the systems. So that process is becomes zero at when it come to the initial stage. And this can be represented at whatever energy is you are giving, it only convert into the work. That is this equation, that summation of heat equal to summation of work. That is nothing but whatever heat is you are adding to this cycle during this cycle is simply convert equal into summation of the work, that throughout the cycle how many processes there, the summation of that all work output and all our the heat input is always equal, because there is no heat it is not wasting heat of increasing internal energy, or not in the form of like, entropy or something. It just only whatever heat is you're providing, it is just only convert into work. And yeah, on the cycle, for the cycle being we have discussed in the first chapter, first session as well, that the cyclic integration of all properties is equal to zero, because if you take a cycle integration, which is nothing but the complete integration from the starting to end, and you if you take cyclic integration, and the property is a point function, which is nothing but initial and final stage is equal. If you take the cyclic integration for the initial and final stage, what you they're both the point, initial point and the end point is the same point. So that is why the properties are always zero for the cyclic integration. And the for the cycle whatever the property you take, just to it becomes zero. And the first law for the process is uh, the dq, the heat supply, it's equal to the internal energy generated plus the work generation. And this process is applicable for any processes that this law can you apply for the constant pressure, constant temperature, constant volume. This is all adiabatic, all the and all process you can apply this, and it's a property of system which is nothing but it depend on the point that you can write. dq is a complete differentiation, that d2 minus d1 and u2 minus u1, and the work is pdv work, that is nothing but the pressure remains constant, and your volume changes from 2 to 1, and its work is also became as a point function here in this form, in this uh, formula. for the first law for closed processes. And you have heard that propensal machine of first kind. This machine is nothing but it work on the uh, it continuously work on the cycle that the machine never consume any form of the fuel. It only deliver. Such machine never follow the law of a universe or law of thermodynamics. This process, what is mean by this propensal motion machine? It's the ideal hypothetical machine which doesn't consume any form of the energy and only give the output. Just like without putting petrol into the bike and nothing, any form of energy is not. You can say this is electrical energy or something. It is no nothing. You are not putting any form of energy and you're continuously using this bike. This kind of machine is this, but it is you can see it is not possible without petrol. You're not able to travel a single that at a single point. But this motion is capable of that thing. And this is hypothetical machine which for you can clearly see that it cannot follow the first law of thermodynamics. That first law of thermodynamics says you cannot you cannot you can it says that you can convert one form of energy into another form of energy. You cannot create you cannot destroy it. It's not following that. You're simply seeing this. It is not consuming any form of energy, but it convert into the work output. So it is it's clearly violating the first law of thermodynamics. And in the mathematical way you can represent that this process, this machine is work on the cycle basis. That is nothing but the first expression, mathematical expression is applicable for this. That is total sum of the heat is equal to sum of the work. But if you're not putting any form of the energy to this machine, then it becomes zero. That is mean nothing but the total work output is also zero. And the work, and it says that work is output getting out without putting any form of the energy. This enthalpy is another form of non-derivable this quantity, because it cannot simply find out with respect to your sensor or something. You cannot calibrate it. It only can be uh, uh, it can only defined with respect to the measurable quantity, just like a pressure volume kind of thing. So from that, it's represented as H equal to internal energy plus pressure into volume. And if you divide this quantity, whatever quantity is there, that volume and any other quantity, if you divide it with respect to the mass, it turn out to be the specific enthalpy. And specific enthalpy is H equal to small h. It's converted into small h equal to small u plus p into specific volume. Specific volume. And this is nothing but a simple representation of energy. You can find out if you in the similar way, if you want to find out the how much energy is contained, you can find out the how much energy it has hold inside it. You can find with respect to this enthalpy quantity. And for this ideal gas, from the below, whatever we have to see in this equation, it is only applicable for the ideal gases. And du, this is du this du is equal to the mcv dt, and the dh is represented mcp dt. And in last session we have seen that the internal energy only this specific heat, when you apply the specific heat at a constant volume, it is only used to uh, used to turn out to into internal energy. It doesn't create any external energy, external work. And the cp value used to create is spent on using to increase the internal energy as well as the external output. So external output is, you can remember this in the way that the specific at a constant volume process, your internal energy only varies, that is nothing but du. And dh is you can specify it with respect to cp value. And it's also represented as the cv is the slope of du by dt, that du by dt. And the cp value you can write in the form of dh by dt. And this enthalpy is the only function of a temperature for ideal gas. This is the only that the two condition is very important in this. And most of time the gate is also has asked on this uh, two thing, that internal energy is also in the is the function of temperature only for ideal gas. And the heat transfer is for the closed processes. In the last session, we have checked with the work is work output, pdv work output for the different processes. So how this uh, how in this process, how that heat is transferred, we will go through it, and we will check with respect to this. And this process, first process is volume is constant. It also called as the Gay-Lussac law. And a very basic manner you have studied in the 11th 12th, might be in the chemistry. uh, that heat transfer is constant volume process. You have seen that in the constant volume process, that the work is become zero, because there is no no, there is no change in volumes, and there is no here work output. So the that first law, that equation dq is equal to du plus dw, that dw becomes zero, and that du become dq. So, and du your internal energy is mcv dt, which is you can represent as like a dq is equal to mcv dt. In this way you can find out the heat transfer in the constant volume processes. If you go with the second process, that constant pressure processes, it's also called as the Charles law. And this Charles law is also you have studied. This is the basic notation for this constant processes. In this process, you can find out that in last session we have seen that pressure is constant, and we can find out the work output, that P is equal to V2 minus V1. And in this process, this dq is you can find out with respect to d is also mcp dt. In constant pressure process, you come across the this coming cycle, that uh, many gas cycle, then this Rankine cycle. You get to know that whenever you want to find out the heat, then you have only one, that enthalpy. And you can find out this enthalpy. If you take a difference between that the two enthalpy, you come across that this is the heat generated by heat is contained by the process. So you can write in the form of this that dq equal to dh. And dh is mcp dt, that is we have seen the above is for the ideal gas. And and third process is the temperature constant temperature process. This constant temperature process is the Boyle's law. And this Boyle's law says that in temperature remains constant. In this last session, you have seen that if the temperature remains constant, it's like there is no internal energy which were here, because uh, for the ideal gas law, you have seen that Bohr formula is the only function of temperature. If it is the only function of temperature, if temperature remains constant, the internal energy will be 0. And that first equation, that dq equal to du plus dw, that if you reduce that du, then it will become dq is equal to dw. And you know the formula for the uh, work, it is p1 v1 log of v2 minus v1. And this thing you can this is the only process in which heat transfer and work transfer both are the same. And both the formula are same for this process. The fourth process is the adiabatic heat transfer. And in this chapter we are talking about the heat transfer, but in this case the process itself says that the heat transfer is zero. Zero. And the first law formula turn out to be that zero equal to du plus dw. In this process also has one uh, concept that in adiabatic process, if you apply to heat adiabatic process, if you apply polytropic process, okay, so it's turn out to be du minus dw. If you take this heat out, if you get work output from this process, it simply reduce your internal energy of the system, which is because you are not supplying external energy to the system, but still it is taking out some internal energy of that system. And it noted as a negative sign, that negative mcv dt. It's a for the simple example, in the slope area, if you turn off your bicycle, then bicycle still moving because it has some momentum energy. And at some point it will stop. And initially it has a lot of moment of energy, that's why it's moving with that moment. But continuously that you are getting work output. But until and unless that bicycle has that moment, it will give work output. Well, and once it that internal energy, nothing but the moment energy will reduce, it will your bike start that giving output as a very low output of work. And at the end of that, your bike will be stopped. Similarly, for the polytropic process, uh, it has this formula you should be remember all the time, because it is quite different from the other formulas. And it is gamma minus n divided by gamma minus 1. And the work of polytropic process, in the last session we have seen that the work of polytropic process is p1 v1 minus p2 v2 divided by n minus 1. And for the DQ, the work transfer, that adiabatic process is also in the same, but only changes is that the n value change differ with the gamma value. This is in this two formulas are at the top of this is the work ratio and the enthalpy, this thermal efficiency, which we we are discussing in the coming upcoming the chapters. But this chapter it is not useful. And this is the example that use in many times in your IES examination, that one pipe is there. And for that pipe, one kind of some kind of tank is there, right? And this tank is adiabatic tank. It does not transfer heat outside the this tank. And once you and it's when you charge this, you have seen that the cylinder of your gas which were used in the your house, it is filled by some sort of pipeline or something that used to fill this tank. And once this tank is that simply imagine that that tank, and that it while filling that tank, that whatever energy is coming inside the tank is always remain same. And there is no heat transfer through the tank. uh, so similar manner, it initially that pipe has some sort of gas which has a different property compared to that, because this wall is throttling process which were change the property of that tank gas is quite different from the initial that the pipe, whatever pipe gas has the property which initially is H1S0, which was shown. And after some time in charging process, that the final temperature of the tank is become, you can say, T2. That T2 is equal to the gamma, turn out to be gamma into a multiplication of TP, that temperature of pipe. And your enthalpy, the internal energy of that tank, it's become the enthalpy of that pipe, initial pipe. And this formula can be derived from the uh, these two things, and mp, that mass of pressure pipe gas, and the enthalpy of pressure gas, and it's equal to the mass of uh, the tank gas, and the internal energy of a tank gas. This is a way you can find out these two relevant formula from this, but just remember these two formula, which will be very helpful. And sometime you might get a question through it. For the ideal gas, you have seen that specific heat ratio, you can see as a Cp divided by Cu, and it always that value always above the one, because Cp is has quite required more energy compared to the Cv. And in simple way, if you Cp minus Cv is equal to R, and this is for the only ideal gas, it is not applicable for the other things. So keep in mind that Cp always bigger, and Cv is always less. So Cp minus Cv is equal to R, and this R is for the ideal gas is point 287 kilojoule per kg Kelvin. And from these two equation, that is gamma is equal to Cp upon Cv, and Cp minus Cv, we can find out these two relation, that's value of Cv and value of Cp. That this value of Cp, and why it is needed to be calculated, because in many way you have to find out the Cp value, because if that gas is not ideal gas, then what you will do, you have to find out the separate Cv for that gas, and Cv for that gas. So for that you have to find out the Cp value and Cv value. The Cv value is R. If you rearrange that two equation, you will get this below equation, that R divided by gamma minus 1. And this R is for the ideal gas. If you want to convert this ideal gas into the any random gas form, so that R also we have seen in the last section, that it is the R bar is equal to M into R. That R you have to replace with the R bar divided by M, and M is molecular weight of any particular gas. So if you have any other gas where, apart from the ideal gas, you have to put their M value. And in similar way, only changes that your Cp is you're multiplying with the gamma, that gamma R divided by gamma minus 1. And a similar way, that you have to replace that R value with respect to R bar divided by M, and M is also molecular weight. And this is the formula. This is quite different for the polytropic process, and the specific heat of the polytropic process is always negative. And why is negative? Because n minus, its a formula says that n minus gamma divided by n minus 1 Cv. Cv of this above Cv, whatever gas is there, and you want to find out with respect to polytropic process. And you know always that value of n is always less than the value of gamma. So that's why the specific heat of polytropic process is always negative. And the one concept is always behind of this, that whatever heat is you use to apply to the polytropic process, the internal energy of that process always going to decrease. That is nothing but the polytropic process is reducing their internal energy, means it's convert either internal energy in the other form. So the concept is that whatever heat you apply, it is created more work compared to the internal whatever heat you're applying to these systems. So whatever extra energy which were created by that polytropic process is simply coming through the internal energy of that processes. That's why the in polytropic processes the internal energy always reduce what with respect to whatever how much amount of heat energy you supply their internal energy always reduce, and just because of that, this is the cp value of polytropic process is always negative. And in this way, you can find out this adiabatic relation between PV values, pressure, volume, temperature, because it's a measurable quantity, and you need to change this measurable quantity into different forms, so you can find out the different stages in the processes. So the polytropic process, the formula that the relation between the pressure and volume is P1 raised to gamma equal to P2 V2 raised to the gamma. If you rearrange that formula, so you will get this p1 divided by p2 equal to v2 divided by v1 raised to the gamma. Okay, but take the similar above formula, that p1 v1 raised to the gamma equal to p2 v2 raised to the gamma. Simply just take out the v1 from v1 raised to the gamma. Then the formula become p1 v1 raised to the gamma minus 1. Similarly, if you from the other side, and the p1 v1 you get, you are known for the ideal gas is mrt, mass is remains same, r values remain same, and only changes is the temperature, and you have to put that temperature which is T1. Now the formula turn out to be T1 V1 raised to the gamma minus 1 and equal to T2 here T2 V2 raised to the gamma minus 1. If you arranges that formula, you get this second formula, that T2 divided by T1 equal to V1 divided by V2 raised to the gamma minus 1. And from the first formula, if you put that value of v1 v2 uh, in the second formula, you will get the third formula, that v2 divided by v1 equal to p2 divided by p1 raised to gamma minus 1 and divided by gamma. This example, this three relation is very important throughout this thermodynamics. You will come across the many processes, many cycles. So wherever you find the adiabatic process, you have to apply this three equation, because in a mini cycle they will give you the initial condition, but the second condition in the initial and final condition. But in intermediate condition, you have to find out with respect to this formula, and this formula is very much useful to find out the intermediate processes. And coming through with respect to this, we have to be it has some specific example for the work transfer, in which the specific example, this example is quite useful, because one example is very often used in the gate as well as IES examination. That and this whatever three cases is there in many numerical, you will find out this example, and you have to solve this solve a numerical on this example. The first example that you have seen, that battery is connected to motor connected to shaft, and shaft is rotating inside that volume, and this dotted light from the inside, it is like isolated system, which is nothing but their internal energy remains constant, and the whatever your the volume is remains constant. So you are actually putting energy into that system, but it cannot emit that energy to outer world. And just because of that, and you have known that if the volume is not changing, that pdv work is zero. Volume remains constant, that means pdv work is zero. And but the work you're transferring to the system, you're applying work on the system, and that work is convert into the to create to increase the internal energy of that system. So the whatever work you're applying, it's a negative form of the work, and the whatever negative form of the work, from the first law you can see that if dq is zero, that you are not applying any form of the energy to this, but they you are applying the work to the systems, that is negative work. And whatever work, it's a negative work. If you put in that formula, that du minus dw, if you shift it to the other side, that dw equal to du, that is nothing but whatever energy you are putting to into that system, it's only and only used to increase the internal energy of that system, nothing else. The second example is that it's an isolated system, which has this is assume that one tank is there, which are the part that it has separated in the two separate equal uh, uh, divider used to put so it is divided into two separate form, and both has the equal volume. One contain as vacuum, and other is gas. And you get to know that in last session we already have discussed that vacuum has no resistance. We cannot that vacuum cannot provide any resistance to the external systems. So it is the work on against that vacuum is zero. If you remove that partition between two gases and gas and vacuum, then the pdv work, that whatever the volume is changing, that volume is not applying any other forces, like no forces there, resistance for resistive forces. That's why the pdv work equal to zero. And you are not putting in this work is also zero, because pdv work is zero, that been nothing but work is zero. And the there is no in extramolecular force of it. This is that's why it's very much says that your internal energy is also zero, your temperature remains constant. This is that second and third is always same. That is nothing but if your work is zero, you are not applying any form of the heat to the system, that why heat is also zero. If your work is zero from the first law of equation, that dq equal to du plus dw, heat is not applying, work is also not applying, that is both are zero, that is when internal energy is zero. If internal energy is zero, that is nothing but temperature remains zero. And this is example mostly famous in the name of free expansion, which is expansion in the vacuum. There is no resistance to this expansion processes. And throughout this, till now, we are talking about the closed system. From this, we are talking about the open system for the first law. First law says that whatever coming inside, it does equal amount of thing is going outside. There is no loss. And similar, there is one example is there, one mass. That one equation that always follow, that is continuity of equation. Continuity of equation has many form, and you will learn in the fluid mechanics. And similarly you can study in thermodynamics as well, but the form is quite different in the your fluid mechanics, and it is quite different in the thermodynamics. Thermodynamics flow rate is there as well as here. So the purpose is, if you if you find a dot on that any particular notation, that is nothing but the rate of that system, that is varying with respect to time. You see that mass enter into the system equal to mass out into the system, and there is no consumption. It's it's an open system. It's a control, and it's also called as a controlled volume process. And you know that mass equal to that from the definition of density, what you know, that density equal to mass per unit volume. If your mass is there, then the density the m equal to rho into volume. But volume, what you know, that volume is area into length. And a similar manner, and this dot shows that with respect to time, that is rho is always there, area is there, but that distance, that length divided by time is nothing but the velocity. So that mass flow rate you can write in the form of rho a c. That is c is nothing but the velocity of whatever is flowing, and area that through whatever it is flowing, and the density of that particular substance which was flowing through that tube. It's just like a tube. So whatever that one you, if you take a one pipe, that section of that pipe, whatever section, whatever you're coming through this pipe, enter into this pipe, it is going out to this pipe. There is no external work output, you are not supplying heat to it, just only you're passing one steam. Just take a steam example here from that one steam is entering into the system, it's steam going out from the system. It is never possible that the whatever you are supplying here is coming out of this, because their density is different, their pressure is different. So due to this pipe throughout the length, there is a losses you will get to know in the fluid dynamics. So that's why this property changes very much. But you are in the first law of thermodynamics, so it never thought about, you never talked about the losses, and it so only says that you are converting one form of the energy to the another form of energy. And also there is another formula, you can convert this formula as a specific volume, because you are known that volume per unit mass is a specific volume. And if you take a reciprocal of this density, then it turned out to be a specific volume. And so it that formula, that before formula is turned out to be c c1 a1 divided by specific volume of that substance, equal to similar for the outer system, the inlet and outlet of the system. This open system is nothing but a closed chamber. You can take an example of a compressor in which you get some you are supplying energy to the system. But in some cases it's like a turbine, you are getting out form of the another form of energy. But this open system, you are in the work, two form of the work, it's a flow work, and this is external work. These two systems, just imagine that whatever you're supplying to energy to the system, or you're taking out of this system, it's a external work. And those things which will help to flow these gases in or out, that is called as the flow work. The external work gate is in the form of turbine, that whatever turbine, once the steam is passing through the turbine, it will rotate that turbine, and that shaft output, whatever you get, it is external work, which is if you're taking out and also you're applying on the system, this is also a external work. And flow work, you know that if you want to push something, there is something you need to overcome, that you need more energy. And and yeah, once that system rotate the turbine, it will go getting out to the system. But for forcing that inlet flow, so you need some sort of energy, because it's not easy to push that steam into that turbine. So whatever work is investing against that pushing that work, that steam into the turbine, it's called as negative work. And exit that whatever that flow, steam which is coming out of that system, which is a positive form of work, because it helps to getting out of that system. So it has noted in the same in the way like that. And this formula, conservation of energy, which is you can see the Bernoulli's law uh, in the fluid dynamics, as well as you can open system energy balance. This two formula is very much important because this formula is application is it has a very much application. There's too many applications it just has. Uh, this is the simple way to write this equation. It's like H1 plus C1. H notation of M is the mass flow rate. H is the enthalpy of that particular point. C1 is the velocity at the particular point. G is the gravitation in mass per meter per second square. Z is the elevation from the earth, that is head of that particular point, and Q is the heat supplying to the system or removing from the system. In similar way, this is the inlet point, and the exit point. You get to know that whatever heat is you're providing, it is simply convert in another form as well as the work. In this first, you are supplying heat or removing heat, the assembly effect or which will generate that you will get work in the other form. So in this formula, uh, all terms are kilojoule per second, and you know that joule per second is the watt. So you have, if you want to find out this formula with respect to this, you have to um, every time you should be keep in mind that it should be in the kilowatt. You should not change that random thing, that whatever the one quantity has a different notation and another quantity has different unit. So be keep in mind, if you divide this mass flow rate throughout the system, and that whatever that equation is there, if you divide with respect to mass flow rate, then q become uh, q with respect to this is mass flow rate, and the turn out to be h1 plus c1 divided by 2000 plus gz divided by 1000, and this is q small q equal to h2 minus. This is similar way the above, but only is the mass flow rate is not multiplying for this, and just because of that, it turned out to be that with respect to the quantity which is fully flowing through the system. So in numerical, you come across these both things, that is all which is in the form of kilowatt and say kilojoule per kg. In above formula, it is not talking about how much energy is what how much quantity of that same is steam or something anything else, it's coming through going through that process. And in this second formula, that it is in this way they can simply talk about the rate with respect to mass, that how much mass of heat is transferring through the system. And with respect to that, you can find out the any quantities in that what is the entropy, what is work output, if you how much work is you're getting, if you're getting positive work, if you're transferring work to the system, you have to put negative work. The entropy of the system is creating whether the speed of that turbine, the steam will reduce or increase. Mostly most of things there, the elevation will remains constant, so it is always reduces, but the entropy of the system in many processes will reduce, and some processes it will create it, because if you add some heat into it in the first process, if you that q value, if you add that value into the system, and then the h2 value will get increased and the work also. But in some cases, the turbine or some compressor is not in the form of adiabatic condition or isolated systems. In that condition, it will reduce the heat from the first processes. That's why it will reduce the S2 value as well as the C2 value. In compressor, the C2 value will increase after that the work is done, and in a turbine, that the C2 value always reduce. Similar that S2 value is also increase in the turbine, because you are adding work into the system, because it's a negative work you are doing on it, and just because of that, that S2 value will get into increase, and in the that turbine, if you're taking out of that positive work from that turbine, that's why the S2 value will reduce, because useful work you are taking out of that steam. And this on this formula basis, with about two formulas, there are many applications available in the application. So we will discuss in the next session of this chapter.